Yeah, like the most expensive CSGO lineup, right? I mean, there's a lot of expensive ones up there. They might be the #1, and so their results don't make any sense from that. But, you know, not playoffs at the major. I mean, I think, yeah, that would make sense. I'm sure they've thought about it. I'm sure the org has thought about it. Will it become a reality? I don't know. I feel like it would be a shame to not see them achieve what we know that they can before making those changes. But at that point, why would you?
So we hope for their sake maybe another stage performance can be locked in. You've just got to deal with Ence. Who are Ence really at the end of the day? If I had asked you that 2 years ago, to put much stock behind
Alexi B would be in a major final.
But nowadays we got Snappy and the crew at an all-time high. Try to regain what we know they can offer us. Let's find out. Masuda very quickly jumping in through smoke. Gets owned. Zywoo locking in connector. And a second here from Zywoo. Now, we had an incredible turnaround between day 1 and day 2 of what Na'Vi were able to show us. And Simple was really one of those individual standouts. We can't forget who's on this Vitality squad. We can't forget about the Zywoo or any of the other individuals. But Diha, oh my god. Okay, I'm trying to talk through it as if it's not going to happen. And he goes 3 kills deep in the 1 versus 4. Nearly robs that from Vitality.
That was very close. He even had a chance there in the last kill. But it doesn't happen. You can finish your point now. I think you've got like at least a couple of seconds here.
I want to enjoy Zywoo's crosshair because we're doing this again today. I'm waiting to figure out which team has the most uniform crosshairs between the players.
I change my crosshair a lot. Like socks.
Like socks.
Almost every day.
Almost?
I've been wearing these bad boys for a week, though.
You get the boost up inside B site. We got the M4 on Spinx. Spinx is a player that we have come to expect great things from. Him and Diha, kind of 1 and 2 on Ence.
Spinx took a long time to get into the game yesterday. And by the time map 3 rolled around on Vertigo, he was getting better. I would say Madden was somebody who didn't feel like he was affected in any sense. He was doing a lot to try to beat OG. But overall, I mean, it's not Spinx playing that well. Again, Diha and Spinx before the series yesterday were kind of right down there with Snappy in terms of their impact. You know, in the bottom half of all the players of the event. I don't know how else to kind of frame that. Not the complete bottom, but one of the lowest rated players for teams that are still in the event. So I'll put it that way. Just above the pain guys, which is not a great sign. It makes Snappy's life a lot harder as well when he can't expect his core players to frag. So we'll see if, you know, a late start yesterday, but a good closeout can lead to a hot start today.
Suda getting through Madden. No CTs are back here. Deagle's making a whole bunch of ruckus. At this point, maybe just escape, right? We've come in with the M4 and the Scout. Nothing had really connected, barring that first opening kill with the boost.
They're like, should we leave?
It's like,
we almost won the pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They better just get out of here. Maybe Diha can stick around. Desert Eagle could find another. But that is going to be the 2-0 from Vitality, just throwing Masuda in the front of it all.
You know, they should maybe change with the bomb damage.
Yeah.
When you plant on A overpass, if you don't save in the corner of CT spawn with like 40 HP, you have to run like all the way through B to get away from the bomb. So I think they should increase the size to make it even more treacherous. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm all for it. You shouldn't treat explosives lightly.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Anders lately. Turns out he's an explosives expert. What is this crosshair?
Bit of a pyromaniac, yeah.
Masuda.
Masuda the shooter.
Keeps it tight. And Snappy keeps it going, right? That M4, that Scout will have the rinse and repeat.
I know Vitality's kind of a mystery. I really do feel like it's somehow the calling that's kind of inconsistent. We've seen a deep playbook. We've seen a lot of good halves where they're extremely tactical on CT side. It just feels like sometimes they don't pull out the strats and tactics that they know. That's how I look at it. Not exactly sure if that's what it boils down to, but sometimes it feels like they just don't have the energy and they play kind of a vanilla style and get bodied. Well, one answer back. Another half investments. Kind of paying off here.
Yeah, definitely, especially with hands on the AK.
Yeah, and the little lap that D-Hud just did, right? Now there's 3 rotations to A. And they're like, should we go here?
They'll be hitting up the site with 3 players inside it. Madden nearly dead. Sphinx takes the rifle on full HP. Scout out of the equation. And a very fast move from Diha to try and come bolster this A site. So sure enough, you know, this is not the most unlikely of situations, but when Apex finds Diha through the smoke, suddenly things get a little shaky. We've got low HP on the Vitality side. There's 2. ZywOo stops it, and Madden, with a scout on his back and a Deeg in his hand, hopes to get something going, but ZywOo, well, he is kind of really good at Counter-Strike.
Really good, very consistent, not really ever been a problem. Not quite as crazy dominant as he probably was last year in terms of just the feeling. I mean, the stats are there, but I don't think that takes away from, you know, when you watch the match. I mean, it's not like it's not carrying like Simple is in some of these situations. But you know, he also has somehow it feels like less help than Simple does in a lot of these matches as well. So, well. One more thing that's kind of interesting is we saw G2 pick up a big win versus FaZe the other day. And that was, I think, in large part due to the fact that Alexi was really consistent with some great refrags and over the course of both maps, even had some clutches. And I think the same can be said for Apex, you know, a little bit to raise the floor for Vitality, and the world may be their oyster.
Diha peeking around long. Gets ZywOo down. Dupree being given space, could come back up. Madden actually inside Monster Pipe. Magisk point blank gets him. Snappy peeks around the side of that one, anticipating the fight from short and smoking off Monster in the meanwhile. A little bit of a continuation here from Vitality. Snappy made uncomfortable by Util. Caught, dealt with 2v2. Diha, slow play down connector. That walks right into the crosshair of Dupree, and now Hades is going to try to piece together the clutch. He gets ahead of the utility. Drops down relatively silently. Apex ready for the walk-up, though. Good read here from Apex. Nails him to the wall and gives Vitality a 4-0 T-side start.
Nice call out on the pathing. Some good energy. And, yeah, great rebound. It was a nice re-aggression from Snappy to try to get one back. But overall, A control goes well enough. B hit a sound, and they take out Madden. I think that's the key one, who's trying to phase the smoke in Monster. Solid read from Apex to close things out. Yeah. I think most people would probably agree that Vitality they're just trying to get consistent stadium performances because they probably level up in front of a crowd where some other teams might get a bit more nervous or shaky. That's where they'll shine. But getting there, that's also difficult. They're built to succeed, but how could you precipitate the story of Ence, you know?
Yeah.
How could you precipitate, you know, Na'Vi bouncing back to form? How could you precipitate the fact that, you know, there's just so many teams at the moment that it's
the fact that Spirit can get to a major semifinal. The fact that OG with 2 new players and a stand-in are going to make it to a stages semifinal.
Yeah, a lot of teams are very good. That's just the bottom line.
It's the era of competition.
The era of parity.
Yep. Finally. Anyone beats anyone.
And a nice boost here from Spinks. Will it net them something as he waits, watching both sides? This was off of the tack pause from Ence, of course. Fall down. Oh, Spinks just kind of trickles into the open there. Apex gonna find him.
That was awesome.
Hades grabbed the gun at the very least, right? You're trying to employ that one rifle. So you come into it with a minimal buy and an idea. And the idea gets mopped up quick and easy. Little bit of wallbang damage, but that's a pistol for 4. Dupree will laugh at it and walk away.
That's great. I mean, they had the mid-smoke, and they waited until the end of it to make sure not only could they disassemble the boost, but they could get the kills with it. That's some composed movements here from Vitality.
I like that Hades transports that gun back to site, leaves it with Diha, and then just decides to go back for this, you know, little microaggression. Into the connector, and down at the hands of Apex. So he's got 2 so far, unraveling what Ence had hoped to piece together. 4 of Vitality's members sitting outside of Monster, now deciding 30 seconds is the time to strike. Snappy inside of the water. Great flashbang coming out of the CTs. And it primes Diha for a double kill. We've got another pistol. Madden, he equalizes this. And there's only 15 seconds left over. Apex gonna try to give cover. Madden walking up on the left side. The 5-7 jumps high. Zywoo down low, and the reload's needed. The reload is what costs him. Vitality walk into a dangerous situation and nearly get blown away.
I'm not going to ask for a 5-7 buff. That would be heresy.
It's so good.
But if they
So good.
obviously 1-2 more bullets there, and that's a very real situation where Apex is already down low. So quite sketchy, but I mean, they keep 2 alive. They keep the op as well. So another close call for Vitality, but they're off to the 5-0 start, man. This is very good. They made a good read on that round. I think they have a lot to look back on fondly.
You want my quick analysis? The 5-7 will get nerfed, and when it does, it'll go down to 15 bullets. Because 20 is too much. Great gun, great place.
Wait.
20 shots?
Is it 20 per mag?
20 bullets in a magazine.
That's actually insane. I gotta buy that more often. I just get lured by the deagle.
Yeah, man. It just feels better.
It just feels better.
It feels better, let's be honest.
So, walk up here from Magisk. And he'll do this without any support, but there won't be a CT looking his direction. That's actually Snappy worried about the door because they don't have any connector presence. So maybe a little flawed there. Magisk will take 2 outs, including his support.
Excellent start.
This is a full buy.
Yep.
That is all but evaporated at this point for Ence.
Looking easier than just getting through those pistols on the B site.
And while Hades wants to leave, he also has an incentive to try to equalize. Guess he feels as though the trying to play around the smoke would be a bit too obvious and heads back for a bathroom position and slowly creeps up for more space. Ooh, shot missed on Masuda. And Masuda, yeah, you got to kill him the first time, it looks like. That's a clean one. Diha, very lonely.
Yeah, Masuda is one of these fun anomalies to me when it comes to Vitality, just because, you know, we can look at accomplishments for each and every one of the others. And Diha goes down, so nothing more than the 1 kill. But Masuda, you know, I think has earned some of the criticisms that have been called against him. And then all of a sudden, you just get like a bit of a bounce back. You know, I always said he's got 3 A's in his name because it's always 3 kills or nothing.
Yeah, kind of infamous for those multi-kills, but yeah, should be kind of equally infamous for just that inconsistency. Unfortunately, I think he's one player who he's kind of looked at as a rookie, but he's far from that now. He's played on the team for a very long time. I don't think he's the first guy to crucify on the team, of course, when it comes to Vitality, when they have so many star players now, but he is somebody who was brought on, I think, specifically to level up the firepower.
He's gone on record and said it himself, right? It's hard to find a place for yourself when there's so many stars around you.
Mm-hmm.
How could you possibly meet the expectations that are set for the others? 5v4 thanks to Magis going for a little bit of a smoke spam. Enjoy it while you can. Your A1S soon to have 20 bullets. And Diha showing us why 1 shot in Counter-Strike can make a difference. Deagle straight to Dupree off party. Spinks ahead of the smoke that comes in from long. Molotov doesn't quite spread enough, so Spinks, he's got a little pocket to play off the back A site, and Zywoo just expecting him to take that little peek around the side of the truck. So man advantage versus 3 more Deegs. Another smoke on Dumpster. Quick rush out from Hades. That one gets shut down, and the bomb plant inevitably comes through. There's a chance for a slow fight here from Snappy. If he finds Magisk, maybe save the gun. Magisk, oh, alive and kicking as Snappy is the last to fall. 4 survive for Vitality off the 7-0 T-side start.
Awesome. Now, yeah, and yeah, there have been a couple of weird things that happened this event in terms of like form, right? The big game versus Ence raised questions about both those rosters. Navi's really bad start was a huge question mark. Now they've shown that that was just an anomaly, and they're back at it. And for Vitality, just constantly just kind of waiting for that moment where everything works. And it does look like we have them clicking. And at the same time, for Ence, I think they're just thinking about, man, we're just not having a good event right now. Like, how do we get back in the game? Because we know that they're highest level. They're clearly the favorites over Vitality in current form. But just off the past few days, I don't even know if it's fair to say. And there's just always ZywOo. I think that's something that is the most constant thing for both these lineups through this event, through the past year, through the past 2-3 years, right? That is something that doesn't change.
Death, taxes, and ZywOo. Molly over top. To get by, and Spinks on his own for the moment. So we get Ence with the B stack. Preemptive. Vitality leaning on their laurels.
Taking this one slow versus a beat up Ence. We have seen that Na'Vi a lot of the times play these some of these ultra passive setups. We've actually seen that happen with certain teams more consistently, where they give a lot of space on the right rounds where it's a slow default, and then the team has trouble with time because they actually don't know where those CTs finally are. They're confused about which side is better to execute versus if it's 3-2, if they're going to run into a gamble. And I think, yeah, the more that Vitality search out, of course, the more they're going to be pressed to make a decision. ZywOo gets tagged. We crossed the 40-second mark. Bomb has not been collected yet.
That would be Dupree sent back to grab it. ZywOo looking for a second chance to knock down Hades, but now obviously on lesser health. Spinks still locked in close on bathrooms. That could be Masuda's end. Spinks sitting here. Masuda comes up. Can't win the duel. The Dink also comes out versus Magisk, so that's Spinks softening them up quite nicely, as did Hades. 10 seconds. A little bit of desperation now sinking in for Vitality. They clear the two corners. Here comes Snappy down at the hands of ZywOo. Madden tries to fight out, and we get Vitality with 10 seconds on the clock, forcing their fights and having their way on A.
Yeah, he's making up new sounds. Sounds I didn't even know were possible to make. Apex pretty hyped about that one. Hey, that is one of the harder rounds, right? With the amount of damage done by Spinks on the hold. But the trades come down, and even though it comes close, and yeah, the bomb could have got dropped at the last second, that was one where Ence did not have that much. Okay. He pulled up his microphone after.
Tried to do it.
Imagine how loud that is for his teammates.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know, I started this series by asking you, why would Vitality pick Overpass?
Yeah.
I've seen 8 reasons. Snappy's MP9 gonna take back man advantage, but we've seen them still fall to the rifles.
Apex is 13-3.
Love to see it. Every once in a while, we get the Apex Predator.
Last time Apex carried, they destroyed Navi's nuke streak.
That was also at a Blast Finals. We got to trade out down towards the B site. No real rush here from Ence to collect their rewards. So the gun's still in the dirt. They could have had both by now, but they don't know what's outside of this monster, so they sit back and wait.
Yeah, this is can be a double mind game because of the 2 drop guns. The CTs, would they stack A, knowing that the guns are most likely to think about getting collected?
The timing!
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's sick.
Well, they had a peek from both sides.
Oh, they just got rope-a-doped. ZywOo on the fallback. You get Diha, 20 seconds.
You know, in some ways that was kind of tricky by Ence, right? They don't pick up the guns, but they're still stacking the site.
Still right there.
Yeah.
Still right there on top of it. Vitality come walking in as if, yeah, the jungle's been cleared out. No, sir. So, weird way for Ence to win their first round, but you got to give it props. 5-7 and an MP9 on the exit of Monster, and then by the end of the round, they do still go ahead and grab those weapons. So 2 AKs and an M4 in a round they had no business winning. Nicely done from Snappy to kick it off with this MP9 kill. Just shoots the legs out from beneath Magisk. Madden. There goes Apex. And watch this little peek on the right first. Right, he saw the shoulder, draws him into the MP9. MP9 trade attempt. 5-7 comes back with the dink.
True, that's a nice detail. How is the money looking like? Well, there's some left over. I would say we've seen some rounds that Ence have already made kind of close, but overall, still a good job here from Vitality. So there will be a bit more to chew through. This is one tough steak. Oh, with the spams.
That's just like last round on Monster, but now we're doing wall bangs too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very slick. Dupree tries to slide out, gets a face full of Snappy's AK, and we've got a 5v2 here from Ence, so welcome to Overpass. Oof. Vitality no longer having as much fun as they had in the previous 9. This one ends real quick, and this is exactly what Ence need to do some sort of a recovery on the CT side. Convincing rounds, lots of players up. Go ahead and collect some money. ZywOo point blank, dead to rights by Spinks. Another round that just looks easy for Ence.
They're pretty subtle with some of these baits, and they're doing just enough to get the attention, to draw out these fights, to win these duels. And with 2 in a row, things get a touch hairier. I mean, like I think they still have one more buy, but now I think and see that they can bring themselves back into the half. This was a very good round from Snappy, and last round he killed Magisk with the MP9, partly because I think Magisk was also lurking out through the short tunnel without any utility support, not flashing through it, not doing it right off spawn and running, but just kind of walking. And that was a nice counterplay from Snappy. A couple good rounds back to back from him, and it's clearly the apple of Vitality's eye to try and take over that short water control. It's actually one more idiom that I don't actually understand, but everybody knows what it means. You don't seem to have any input on this.
I try to stay away from idioms. You know me. I'm always mixing them up.
Sitting right next to one.
Okay. What did I do? What did I do?
No, I was a self-burn.
Oh, all right.
You're sitting next to me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I've got a victim complex.
It's the years of battering verbally for me, I think.
Like yesterday when I found out that apparently English speakers don't say
Da-uh.
no, terrace.
Oh, yeah.
A terrace. I've been calling it terrace. Mo, let's go grab a couple beers on the terrace.
Yeah.
Yesterday you finally filled me in. Connor, it's terrace.
Oh, yeah. You were saying it
The French Canadian way.
as a French Canadian, yeah. It's okay. I mean,
On des bières au terrasse, bro.
yeah. That sounds pretty cool.
So, you know, I thought hold on.
Spinks. Oh, jumping. Yeah. Jumping up and down. Doesn't recover. To be fair, unexpected T-side swing.
Yeah. I wonder why he was jumping. If he missed or if he was trying to get back up the stairs and just didn't press back, or I'm not sure. Either way, he said, here I am. Then they killed him.
Come get me.
Wrong time to let a 5v4 go like that, though. This is the stairs taking over, and I think, again, Vitality leaning towards B. Ence haven't figured out exactly where they want. I think there's a timing here for Deha where he'll start to flank around bathrooms. Oh, there it is. So at this point, if he does a lap, he can clear out top bathrooms. They kill one outside B. Rotations are going to be a little bit easier. Deha doesn't see anything. Hades still has the front of bathrooms cleaned out, but oh.
Masuda close right.
Yeah, there is somebody inside. It's interesting because I think Deha comes back and watches the top end of bathrooms, and he could hold the outside no problem. He also has this rotation.
Just set it on fire as well, right? Deha throwing in that nade just to make sure that there's no wraparound. And the moment Hades kills ZywOo, they get that bathroom player to come check it. Deha then, eyes turned back, and sure enough, we've got a 4v2 from what was the 4v5. Nice shot from Hades, keeps it clean as he locks down the bathroom's apex, stuck on long. His incredibly hot start it's kind of cooled off ever since. You know, this is 3 rounds nicely done from Ence, and we can't forget as well that 8 from Vitality when they're able to win on the A site in the final 10 seconds. That's one big moment from Ence away from also being their round win. But alas, this time 3 straight. Money should be low.
They were pretty calm about this situation. I think what was important there was not rushing to take back map control. And they just got that peek in at the right timing. They let Madden take a liberty to swing on Monster whenever he'd like. That was maybe the one risk of the round. Hades was set up perfectly, and Deha was right there to catch it on the fall back. Wasn't wrapping the bathrooms, just making sure that he couldn't get flanked from both choke points.
And that coffer full of gold that Vitality had worked so hard for is been entirely spent. Apex, single AK, Desert Eagles all around him. Took 12 rounds before Vitality were at an economic disadvantage. Ence got to seize this opportunity with both hands, and so far so good. Great nade damage, Magisk, Zywoo both low. No early sketchiness.
How much cash to get an Ence tattoo?
Like the logo
Yes.
1 for 1?
Yeah.
Or just like a cool Kraken octopus type thing?
No, the logo. What's the difference anyways? It's a cool logo, isn't it?
It is, but, you know, I would like make a full, octopus in a different stance.
You get no input on how it looks.
Oh, okay. My body, my choice. And Spinks choosing to kill 3 on the way in. Apex, AK at the front of it, runs in. Snappy, very fast. So fast, in fact, that Magisk hears him coming a mile away. Can't do anything about it. Got Apex in a 1v3 now. Oh, and he turns his attention as Deha comes in with that final closing kill. So, Ence, recovery mode.
Yeah, there was a chance. It had to be a headshot. That's pretty much what it came down to. But just a deagle in hand. Doesn't happen for Magisk, and the round is eventually lost. It's half investment. What's your price?
I'll talk to Natu.
Try to get a discount.
If we both get them, then there probably will be. Package deal.
Yeah. I gotta maintain my bargaining power. I feel like I would get one for free. It's a good one.
I've got a gold Ence sticker on my new AK skin.
Ours.
Ours, that's true. Our AK skin, sorry.
And for Ence, I think they're trying to take a step into the future here, see what Vitality might be coming up with next. You know, what's the fresh idea based on all the things that have gone wrong in the last 4 rounds? And I think, for the most part, like they don't have to change too much to catch everything. If they want to stay on around short water and have stairs control to themselves, they can go for that. I think that's kind of a round agnostic opportunity for the CT side on Overpass, but yeah, they're going to just leave Spinks down there. They're not pushing short this time, and Magisk is being a little bit less, or a little bit more careful about the approach. I think some of the best players right now are spamming stairs. You know, you keep a Starfragger in there alone long periods of time. There's really good sequence opportunities, and with a player like Hades here, for example, there's a rotation out. There's also support for him if they peek the top of the stairs. Wow, Hades doesn't know it, but he actually has so close to 2 opportunities for shots there. Small missed timings, but still in a very fine position.
Seemed to feel the need to go back, and we'd seen him do a really good job of sectioning off 1v1 fights when he...
Oh, this is interesting. Look at Spinks. I mean, this is Snappy now on the stairs, but Spinks is on the big flank.
So Snappy doesn't have to move a muscle. Masuda could still find this fight first. Doesn't see it coming. Snappy, nicely done.
But he doesn't know that the rest are outside B already. He thinks they might be rotating downstairs. Spinks sees nothing.
Yeah, that'll be the info. So they go out through Monster instead. Another round that comes down to the final 25 seconds. Deha hoping for his chance to strike. And they're dodging these fights step by step. Oh, Magisk. Nice, clean headshot up into the heavens. Madden in from water. Answers right back. All the while, Spinks getting ever closer. Zywoo tries to turn back. He's expecting something from heaven. They're trying to push towards Graffiti. Snappy stuck inside a short, and now this one suddenly falls onto the shoulders of Dupree in a 1v2 with a smoke already down on top of that bomb and Snappy's kit primed for the stick. Dupree will be called back into the action, and Spinks ends him. Giving that smoke down for the defuse, forcing Dupree's hand to come back. They didn't know where the counter-terrorists were coming in from. They tried to go for Graffiti. One gets blindsided, and then Dupree realizes this is not where I want to be.
Yeah, because I think they saw the first CT who was making his way out of pit while Dupree has already turned the corner. That kind of blows his cover since he's already there. So then he feels uncomfortable, like, oh, okay, now I can't play in this position. This was a very nice attack by Dupree to clear out the back of the pit. And yeah, Spinks gets, I think, the key information. So they're on the hunt in this direction. Don't see anything. And another round in a row is lost. As impressive as it was for Vitality to get to this point, it is now just a close game, it feels like. But, I mean, 3 rounds. 3 rounds of lead and a chance for Vitality to still end with a strong half.
Little squeaky fight. Magisk, no rush here. Vitality Molotov, the position on party that we'd seen Spinks use for boosts earlier. Very expectant of some kind of a fight to go down on the front side of A.
Man,
it's only towards long that we get anything from Ence.
I really like Ence using long. I mean, we haven't seen Vitality play it that often. So now they're doubled up in this position where Hades can watch backwards, Diha can flank around bathrooms as well, and a third player on A.
That third player being Spinks, now setting the crossfire with Diha.
Look at the angles opened up with this double long setup.
Gonna try to force their way in. Diha with the first one. Spinks then reveals himself. It is really smooth. Only Zywoo comes out with the kill.
Oof.
And by the time Magisk shows up, we've already got CTs swarming on the bomb site with the bomb at their feet, and Spinks is shooting sharp as ever. That is perfect. That is exactly what you would have wanted, especially with that quick rotate up from Dumpster, just to ensure that if anything goes south, they had the in control.
They had this position from Diha. It's only available as long as you have a teammate pushed up at long, and that's why it's important for the T's to like default to get control of it first, because coming up through bathrooms is not great. This is such a nice setup here from Ence, and they did all this without showing themselves even once, so no surprise that Vitality loose to that crossfire. It's very strong, and now we move into the last round of the half. Ence continue on the streak.
Vitality skip a step, trip and fall. They have now stumbled their way through the second half of the first 15. Magisk gets the better timing on Snappy. Felt like Snappy had been doing a really good job of just dominating this portion of the map, and that had been, you know, coinciding with Ence and their 6-round streak. It all started with his MP9 kill versus Magisk. Molly goes into connector. Will it spread to Dupree? No. He's fine. And Zywoo. Oh. Spinks getting shut down. 5 versus 3. Despite lower utility here from Vitality, it still could be their round win. Zywoo's going to see that as an invitation to get ever closer to B. Deep position from Madden. Water occupied by Diha. And Hades starting to activate up on A site. He could kill Masuda. Everybody trying to face.
That has been a threat. And look how he's just purveying the tunnel. I mean, so dangerous and so comfortable as well. No Zywoo there to op him.
Hades doing the same thing up top. Scanning, searching. Looking for that impact. 25 seconds and the exec comes in. All 5 players are still alive and kicking here for Vitality. So despite the 6 rounds in a row from Ence and their best efforts to recover the half, it is a 3-round difference from Vitality as they put a 9th, the cherry on top of what was a very momentous start here on Overpass.
All right, well, sat here with Katie and obviously gonna just have a nice little chat. We're gonna talk all things heroic and Counter-Strike. Okay, one thing I wanted to get into and talk to you about, because I know we have so many new viewers in Counter-Strike these days. I don't think everyone's fully aware of the entire legend of Cadian, or story of Cadian. Because I don't know, like part of me, when I was thinking about your career, thinking about like this conversation was, you know, if you were in a Hollywood movie, you'd be like the hermit in the desert of like some post-apocalyptic world. Like you just weren't, for whatever reason, able to establish yourself in like tier 1 Danish Counter-Strike in the early days of CSGO. And just over your career, just going through the team list, just you've had to play with like not the rejects, but like the unwanted, I guess, which isn't much better, I guess. You even were like outcast into like North America, like the true wasteland for a while. You did like a year over there. So I mean, let's just kind of talk about those kind of early stages, because I don't think people fully realize like the sort of redemption arc and journey that you had to go on to get back to this level. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like I had a crazy uprise just when my career like started with the qualification for the very first major, then signed a contract with Mouse Sports. But the thing is, like, for two of the first teams that I played on, like Mouse Sports and SK, I definitely also compromised a lot with like my role, right? I was always the IGL and the AWP. And in these two teams, like at Mouse, Chris Shea was the AWPer, and in SK, Freeze was the AWPer, right? And I thought to myself that I could easily play like a secondary AWP and that my capabilities with the rifle would be good enough. I think nowadays I would definitely be able to do so in a much better way, but that's also because I'm way smarter at the game now than I was back
way more
then.
fleshed out as a player.
Yes. So like that definitely hurt like on the statistic base a bit, and you all know how it is, especially back then, like young IGL, maybe too much confidence, maybe didn't have the exact way of introducing his philosophies and stuff like this, and not playing his primary role, so his statistics were like 1 or 0.98 or whatever, then you just get cut. And especially when like you maybe also had some like attitude problems back in the early stages of your career, that kind of vibe, that kind of story that people are telling about you is just gonna hang on for a long time.
Smoked.
He smoked.
Monster.
Nice, man.
Barrels. Connector one as well.
One
Hey,
o'clock.
front two, one spawn. Spawn right side.
Together.
I'm hiding.
He
Wanna
can make
peek?
contact. He can make
Okay.
contact. I'm with him.
Hide.
This side
Hide.
now.
You ready to peek left? I peek right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Go.
Bitch. No! Nice.
Oh,
Not
bro,
even
he was so
close.
fast.
Not even close.
We take it, fam.
Nice try, Pavel.
Well, that almost got very scary, of course.
When you just can't count down fast enough.
Yes. And maybe in Danish they could have.
3, 2, oh. But they get there. Vitality obviously picking up first pistol and picking up a 9-round T-side. Very impressive on their map pick, but obviously we've got the anomaly of Ence's 6 straight in the middle. Very streaky Counter-Strike. And now we've got dual Berettas pressed up close to the monster. 3 CTs down here in Vitality. They think maybe 3's not enough. Dupree back by the dumpster of the A site. He's contemplating, I'm sure.
Man, all
Still
things
comes out short.
Yeah.
Molotov deep onto the barrels. Magisk insta-kill on Diha. And an immediate rotation up, but look at the counter terrorists. They bite down on it. Zywoo comes in. Dupree also rotates outwards. So anything that would have been offered from an A-hold, it's gone. Snappy still sitting outside of Monster as bombs being planted front bathrooms. Very nice pistol here from Ence. It nets them the plant at the very least.
They see no stairs rotation because of Snappy.
Just still waiting down there with him, and Masuda clears out the closest of positions here from Madden. Spinks peeks off of truck, headshots his. Snappy's coming back around connector. He's got to fight inside of the site, pulled in 2 directions. Apex gets the difference, and Snappy tucked in close. They may think he's still far to their back. Body blocking. Apex gonna stick that defuse as Vitality get the double digits, but I like what Ence offer us. I like the pull back and forth, and Snappy ensuring that there's no one in connector so that the guys on site can fight forward.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, he even can catch them on short. He can also just make sure no one goes stairs. He doesn't have to go far to do his job, and that really set up his team nicely to try to make that possible. But look at these dual Berettas go. I mean, we can see it from Snappy's perspective. The aim punch is so serious. When you're going up against no armor, it just shreds through you. So real nice round there from Magis to get the first kill and the last. Now, even though Ents win this, I think we've seen a really good T side, you know, just numerically from Vitality. Yeah, they gave up a bunch of rounds in a row. Oh, sorry, and Vitality win the second pistol as well, I should say. It's about as good of a start as you could ask for. Even though it's 6 in a row, CT overpass, right? I think T side is the vegetables, but CT side, that's a dessert. You look forward to it.
Yeah, you do.
It'll be cool to see how game plans differ. Again, Ents 5 overpass losses in a row. Looking to break that streak.
Madden locking eyes with his teammates as the majority of Ents work their way up long. And Dupree is going to sit behind the smoke grenade that pops front bathrooms. Ooh, actually not sit in front of it. Walk through it. Presses the MP9 up close to Diha. ZywOo scouting Spinks through smoke. That's not going to help. And this force buy just fizzles out. I thought it was going to have a little punch on it, but just before they're able to kind of wind up for the hit, we get Vitality poking them, prodding them, and berating them.
Yeah. What animal is closest to Apex?
Howler monkey?
Howler monkey.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds right. I've never seen one, but
never seen one. Have you heard one?
Yeah, just now. Apparently.
Quite the beast.
Like that? Is that what they
That's
sound
what
like?
they sound like, yeah.
And if I wasn't literally sitting beside you, I would just been like, wow, that's another weird noise from Apex.
Pistols here for Ence. And Vitality's 5-round lead. Money. This one gonna go down nice and smooth. Like a Negroni on a Lisbon summer night.
Had a few of those. Can confirm. Scary part is here for Vitality is like, even if they win their map pick in some of these vetoes, they're not safe. Not safe at all. But it doesn't change the fact that being one map up should be a huge advantage. And eventually that will catch up with other teams. So Ents going to play very hard for this win. And again, even though they're on this loss streak, their losses have been to very quality overpass teams and some of them extremely close games as well.
ZywOo keeping them clean. Vitality now to be tested here versus the first gun round of Ence's T side. Chuck that utility out early from bathrooms, and it gets Ence to kind of lock into their corners, just expecting maybe a follow-up, but there is no hyper-aggression here from Vitality. They move back to the site, send Dupree back around long. He's setting up shop with eyes down towards tree, and Masuda could be first contact here in round 19. There it is. Snappy tries to extend. Looking to do what he did on CT side. Impact in short. But instead, it's man down for Ence and low HP for Diha. ZywOo not afraid to play out in the open when it comes to A site. Won't necessarily be hidden in a cubby. Cowering around corners, not quite his thing. But with the smoke in front of him, that is space for Ence to start to press up. And they're going to come all in towards bathrooms. Still no long play, so Dupree, very comfortable in his position, has spotted nothing as we hit 40 seconds.
Yes, and just like we saw from Ence and their great CT setup, this is the exact same benefit Vitality will have. The one thing is they have to have him come back and maybe fight towards the site. But as we cross the 30-second mark and the execute comes in, it should become fair.
Flash in front of it all. Dupree turns attention. He'll find Madden, dead first and foremost. Molotov at the feet. And Hades tries to push in. AK in hand, he gets by. Oh, ZywOo able to kill the third player in. Apex comes out from dumpster. Trade frags there, and Spinks eliminated by the French IGL. Vitality keep their winning ways rolling.
Yeah, so they can pull it off too. They understand the advantages right there. So nice round between ZywOo and Dupree. And of course, the scary part about Zywoo is he just doesn't seem to be scared of anybody. You know, when he can pervade the outside of bathrooms like Madden was doing towards Monster, that's quite a powerful tool to have. Apex with a nice big crosshair, so you're always on him. That's why he gets so mad when he misses.
That's definitely the biggest crosshair we've seen out of any player yet.
That's how you know he's been playing for a long time.
CRT monitors and whatnot. Did you ever play with a ball mouse?
Yeah.
Yikes.
It was kind of fun to pick the, I guess, skin cells off the ball.
Oh my god.
I don't know what it was. I mean, stuff from your mouse pad. I mean, you're a kid too, maybe juice box residue.
Yeah, man.
And everything.
Gunk.
Clean the mouse ball. Because,
clean the mouse ball.
Yeah.
Mom, I gotta clean the mouse ball again.
I didn't really announce it to my mom, but.
Oh. And then they invented lasers. Now the world is better. We're in a better place. With better aim and much more gamers. Here comes the SMG rush. Oh, I mean, there goes the SMG rush. Madden, Diha, Hades, Spinks eliminated instantly as they round these corners. A very smooth move from Vitality, just holding their angles, leaving Snappy on his own.
Look at this Apex top frag. I mean,
oh, wow.
Wow. So many big plays in that first half as well. And we know it's the tired storyline. It's Apex, you know, high volatile position, right? If he has a great game, that's just so much space created. If he has a bad game, it obviously makes things dramatically worse. But what we saw on T side was an Apex on a mission.
Apex calling this one the easiest double kill of his life. Magisk has to work a little harder for his, but nails both. And so both of these halves starting excellently for Vitality. We can't forget about the time about 20 minutes ago where Ence turned that one upside down for a little while. Can they do it again on their offense? Or are we looking at another loss for Ence and a marked improvement in Vitality's Overpass? This is a map they got embarrassed on during the Legend stage of the Major.
Dupree was trying to tie his shoes in the bathroom. Should get some loafers.
Socks and slides.
That's, yeah. That's not a given for everyone, by the way. I mean, that's okay.
Socks and slides?
It's a big... It's
2022, man. It's okay now.
It's okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
All right.
We call that the... I mean, that's like the hotel lifestyle. That's a classic.
Nobody wants to see my feet. I will always have the socks on.
Yeah. How do you feel about strapped sandals?
Time and a place.
Go.
Wow.
Almost
threw that right
flash.
through,
Yeah.
right through the carts.
They're going to see that this one's completely free. So that's a 7th for Ence. Still halfway to the score of Vitality, but it'll put out the fire on their logo. So Vitality at least having to get through a speed bump of a T-round win for Ence. Keep 3 players alive, though. Some utility still in their back pocket. All is good.
Kind of a strange moment where it didn't exactly feel like Dupree was looking at radar because he looked down a bit. I, too, get distracted. Not sure exactly what happened there, but of course, pretty important spot to die in. So I wouldn't think Vitality think about it too much. And they'll be given the respect of allowing them to save. And have to worry about their own economy for the time being. They'll make sure they don't die to the bomb. And they put up 7. And I mean, even though they're on a loss streak, this would be up there with their worst. I think they have a 16-5 loss to NIP, who might be the best team on the map. No, 7-16. So in their other games, 11, 14, and 13 rounds. And sorry, it's a 4-map loss streak, not 5.
Man, you're just full of lies today.
Would be now, though.
Oh,
We're within
okay.
2 rounds of that being a possibility.
Bit of a stretch, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
We will let it slide. Here comes the artillery strike. Nobody home. But a nade stack always worth throwing a few times and a half. For the one round, you do get 5v4 off of it. Could be the round that starts your streak. Or in this case, continues it. Ence, 1 terrorist round win for number 7. Made possible by a Dupree entry inside bathrooms, and this time in the follow-up round, ZywOo catches Madden rounding the corners of Party. The op establishing a 5v4. 1 of 2, of course, right? Dupree, the secondary green. And Snappy starts to walk out from Monster. We're going to try to play a little timing here.
Being far ahead of this, they could accidentally smoke past him, and then he gets an opportunity with the flash.
Masuda walking in as well. There goes the flash. He just pulls the trigger, starts to run up. Magisk on the barrels, goes unnoticed. They're looking for him. They don't believe he's not here. And awkward one from Magisk, burned by Snappy. And Apex, well, he may be down in the water, but he's looking for his chance to get impact, and there's nothing. Snappy's barely alive. Diha's barely alive, but Vitality are barely standing and not equipped for the retake with the double op. So sure enough, Ence just squeezed through in 8th.
And they did what they had to do, right? They lose Madden, trying to peek the bathrooms without that smoke. They've done that a couple of times, so ZywOo punishes. But Snappy finds a way back into the round. A little, again, yeah, like you mentioned, a little awkward there for Magisk with the flash. Couldn't find his kill. Set up in a position where he could have definitely multi-fragged, but no delivery today.
Oh,
ooh, close.
That could have been fun. They were still hiding by the club. So Snappy toppling Masuda, and then this is weird, right? We saw Magisk try to jump over the first time, gets caught, falls back. There's no response to the incendiary on his feet.
I think the stress of that situation is leaving if he gets 1 kill when he jumps up the first time, and then he could kind of like swing out a little wider, but I think he doesn't get that, and it gets awkward. I wonder if Apex talks to himself like this.
There is no doubt in my mind that Apex talks to himself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Yeah.
He's just, you know, he's that animated. That's good, because I feel like good communicators communicate with themselves. That's how you practice the skill set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk kindly to yourselves. That's 2 for Ence. From 6 to 8.
Oh, Dupree's off it.
Again. Again and again.
Did he have it last round? I used this.
Yep.
I thought he was holding it for ZywOo. Okay.
Nope. Double up last round too.
So they haven't seen it yet.
They, I don't know, because they heard him when he was just inside of T-spawn. So
Okay.
like they could have pieced it together,
Do
but
they think it's ZywOo?
they could maybe get caught off by it. Yeah.
2-op is a powerful adjustment. Especially with the way Madden died that previous round and how they have regularly tried to take bathroom control without smoking frontside bathrooms. That opens up to an op. If this op takes a shot on the B site, they don't know about the second one. Dupree might get an easy kill. Oh my god, that's
Like
so
Apex
much good
almost did?
damage. That is so much good damage.
That's from downtown as well. Connector player nearly dead. Diha's all the way at the back. Of course, now he's moved up into playground, watching the push from long that is not there. Team Vitality, very little forward A setup.
It's an op supporting an op. Annoying and powerful. It's kind of an only on Overpass type situation.
Dupree blind. Oh, Madden just kind of getting past it.
Didn't respect the flash, but... Oh,
Apex
sorry, it's
right here.
Apex here. I thought it was ZywOo.
Apex playmaker position. Gets one in the back. Hades emerging from the bathroom smoke. Nobody up on side A site yet. Rotators smoked out of this one. 8 seconds. That's what Ents have left when they get into the bomb site, and that's enough. Sure enough.
Damn.
Nabbing a 9th round off the back, so...
Hey, 1 kill on the hold's not enough. And Yeah, Dupree, he gets flashed, right? And that's what allows Madden to cross. So they did that carefully themselves. And as we can see from Madden, I mean, he's the one with the info. That's an easy frag for him. Could have played it a bit slower, but yeah, losing that kill without a frag means that rotations are a little harder to get into comfortable spots. Apex commits quite heavily. That was a position where they probably could have delayed, right? I mean, time was low.
Smoke interaction there for Dupree just kind of makes him look a little silly. His legs are sticking out, thinking he's got an angle being held, and silver platter for Madden.
It becomes a 5-round game.
Still money there for the Vitality camp.
Lots of saves.
They get rid of that second op. No need for it this time on Dupree. It's going to be just the Zywoo. Ooh, Ence know what they want. They transition right into the stack outside the B site. Triple nade attempt again. 0 for 2. Suda's got to be careful with the door off its hinges, but he's well aware of it. He wanted it. Oh, that's a good exchange of damage. Both players survive it.
I'd say it probably a bit better for Zywoo considering he has the op.
For sure. Spinks' job could get suddenly more difficult. But another moment here where a player's actually slipped in, and if the CTs aren't cautious... Oof. Apex, he's got Spinks very nearby. Madden just made a glance towards the connector player, Magisk. He will be able to deliver this time a little more comfortably. Sure enough, Spinks does catch Apex. Masuda ends him. Magisk goes down to the very low HP of Diha because he swaps out into the AWP, similarly to the way Zywoo all kicked this off with. And now we've got very separated CTs left, and both of them tagged. Masuda, awful spot to get stuck in. He walks back down the staircase as Hades comes up from underneath him. And Zywoo, 1 versus 3, 26 health, but he does get on site. Fast enough to stop the first one. Sees the jump up. No additional peek, but Madden takes it through the truck. Oh, and Diha with the team kill. Now, Zywoo rushes. Another player tagged up by Zywoo's op. 3 times he's hit them, but no kills with it. The gods favor Ence, and Zywoo, a god himself. Now just so close to this clutch. Flash to the right side. USP's out, and he can't end it. Hades hangs on, and Ence keep winning.
Jesus, man. How is that even close to possible? Leave it to Zygote to find a way. That's crazy. I think he would have got the kill. Wow. This came down to a USP doing most of the work here, right? That upshot going in, well, they could take a sigh of relief. They figured this out. That was a round where they created so much stress around the map, right? That was actually super hard to follow what was going to happen next with the amount of lurks that were happening. Poor DJ had to use all 10 fingers.
He's only got 9.
But it worked. That was kind of a classic look for Ence, I feel like, with the amount of lurks going on there. I mean, they got Spinks locked in position off short B. They had Madden come out, lose that kill there, but they got a refrag from Spinks, and they get pressure on A at the same time.
When's the last time? Oh!
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Well, excuse me, Madden.
Okay, Dupree's actually ahead of the bathrooms play, which is kind of interesting because, I mean, if they don't flank towards long, he's listening very closely now, and he can come back and flank them. Rotation here is in from Masuda. Unfortunately, there's no op on site. And the bomb is still outside B, but I can only assume it's going to come back, right? Whoa, they're going to end B?
With 35 seconds, how the hell does Hades... I mean, yeah, there's no other option.
What is... They're using this, yeah, Snappy to lurk. He's trying to be careful about it.
Masuda tries to go in. Diha kills him.
He's still outside B.
Dupree could just end everything inside the A site,
Sure enough, he finds Snappy with his back turn. Magis, he just killed Spinks. Hades is going to come running out. He's all that's left over. Ence trying to complicate the game, and it could be too much. Hades just can't find it. Finally will kill Magis. Immediately puts down bomb, comes off as he thinks he's being rushed, and now it would have been kills or nothing. Vitality, maybe given a lifeline.
I mean, you don't see the bomb, you don't rotate, right? I mean, I guess that was pretty convincing with the amount of pressure on A site for them to think about this. This is so ridiculous. Oh, did you see him off the nade smoke? He did. Ooh. That's why it was just insta.
It's like, how did that?
Dude.
Yeah.
But right here, the amount of players still up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the bomb was too far, if they thought, okay, we'll just end here. But shout out to Magis for getting the hold off, right? They did rotate 2 back down short, along with the bomb coming out late. It wasn't all on Hades to make that happen. And I guess they did want to make that to try to sell a convincing fake if possible.
Let's go, guys. Full focus.
Now it's 1 round to go.
5 chances.
5 chances for Ence. Or 1 chance for Ence. 5 for Vitality.
5 1 chances in a row.
That
could be the one that burdens Ence ultimately. Ooh, Spinks will kick it off with an opening kill the way of Ence.
Wisp stares at a minute 30. Nice tempo here from Ence.
Yeah, right back to success, so we'll say. Hades was watching for this long wrap, but now Dupree, he's just gonna stay tucked on rock. Feels like he did kind of serve them up a reminder last round when they were inside of the site. He comes back, kills Snappy. Surely somebody goes and clears it this round, you'd think.
This is cool from the Danes. I mean, yeah, Dupree setting himself up to flank A site. Magisk is here at the top of bathrooms. They have a 3rd player on A. They're hoping that it's this site. I mean, they're completely correct as well.
So it's Spinks who's going to be going and trying to clear on long, but Dupree's position now known. Zywoo strikes down Hades. 3 versus 4. They're just going to try to rush the issue, get themselves into the site. Masuda unchecked from the corner. Madden now 1 versus 4, wrapped from all directions. And the long players just tap him in the back. That's Vitality with an Overpass win. A map pick that continues Ence's struggles. 5 losses in a row, but we'll be back with Nuke soon enough.